ba 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 ba. 90.3 WHPC. Welcome to another edition of From the Press Box. My name is Rob Leonard. Joining me, of course, is my brother and award-winning sports writer, Timothy J. Leonard. Hello, brother. How are you?
Morning, brother. I'm outstanding. How about
yourself? Of course you are. I was just Eric Fischetti, host of the previous show.
We love him.
We love Fischetti, but he's wearing a Vegas Golden Knights jacket.
So?
Come on. He should be a New York Islander fan. He's from Long Island. Or at least be a Ranger fan.
Let me share with you something, brother.
What is with
every
Eric
once
Fischetti?
in a while? Well, every once in a while, maybe you find an item on sale, or you're in a thrift store.
No,
and
he paid.
You see something
that's different.
That's got a good price on it.
That's different. He didn't do that.
That is kind of nice, and you buy it.
No, he bought it because he was in Vegas. He was in Vegas,
or you're in a city.
He was in Vegas, and he said, "I'm a Vegas Golden Knights fan now."
Hello, Tim. By the way,
I think he said that.
Hello, Tim.
Can you hear him?
I hear Eric Fischetti.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm just in the other room trying to heat up my coffee, and I'm hearing a lot of these false accusations. Yeah. First off, just because I'm from Long Island, I am an Islander fan. It's a Western Conference team. It has nothing to do with the Islanders. I'm still an Islander fan. I like the jacket. It was $20, and I got it. And also,
what was the original price? $20. You got it for $20. What was the original price?
It was $80.
On sale.
It was $80.
There you go. That's 75% off. How do you argue with 75% off?
And also, Rob, just because I'm from Long Island doesn't mean I have to root for New York teams.
Oh, you like.
I know a lot of people like.
You're like those guys in the '70s, or people our age, who, because the second football game of the NBC, the CBS,
they're all Cowboy fans.
They're all Cowboy fans, or Steeler fans, or Raider fans.
That's not. Well, all of those fan bases travel. They're everywhere. There's a lot of Yankee fans everywhere.
Yeah, but Yankee fans go down to Baltimore because it's cheaper and it's actually probably faster.
And where do you think Raider fans go? Raider fans went to Jets and Giants games because they were cheap once upon a time.
Well.
Steeler fan, the same thing. They travel.
Raider fans were everywhere because the Raiders have been everywhere.
Exactly. Same thing with the Patriots for the last couple of years.
Okay. Let's not.
Well, it's true.
We don't care about them.
Excuse me, but I just want to come on to defend myself. Don't start.
You may buy sports gear from any franchise you like, as long as they're not Boston.
No, not any, because I do have self-control.
As long as it's not Boston.
Yeah, I could see him becoming a Boston Red Sox fan. Bro.
Once upon a time, when I didn't know who I liked in baseball, I had everybody. I wore a Red Sox shirt underneath a Yankees jersey. Once upon a time. That was when I was 8, though.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Come on.
What do you mean, come on?
He doesn't know
Didn't someone teach you right?
Did they let me choose?
You don't make you at 8, you say you wear this.
I had Minnesota Twins, Los Angeles Dodgers, San Francisco Giants, Texas Rangers. I had everybody, and then
he's 8. All he knows is that Mama Fischetti is buying him gear, and she buys whatever's on sale. She didn't. And maybe the Red Sox were one of those teams.
My father did.
All right,
but I just want to come on and stop Rob from spreading these lies.
I will spread them. It's a better.
That's what my brother does.
It's a better story.
Tim, I just think he likes me. He's always talking about me.
Of course he likes you, Fischetti. You're like the son he never had.
You're like the one of the cool kids around here.
That's very nice of you. So are you.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't allow certain people to sit at your table, but that's something else.
I'm a delight. You know that.
Fischetti wants people at his table so he can tell stories.
Yeah, of course.
I like talking to people. I'm a social butterfly.
Anyway, Fischetti's on 4:00 this afternoon talking sports with the rest of the Motley Crew. Who's part of the crew? I forgot.
What's the names?
There's a bunch of people.
Yeah,
honestly.
You guys have 7 people.
It's okay. I don't keep track. I just know day by day.
Okay. Anyway, they're on at 4:00, and actually Monday through Friday, Sports Talk's on this station. So if you're looking to talk sports or listen to sports, please do. Anyway, brother, let's start off with the Mets because the Mets are now the greatest team in the world. I don't know if you know that.
Holy cow! No, I didn't because it's not true. But
but it something is happening because ever since hyperbole
is happening, brother.
Ever since Thumbs Down happened, And the Mets had to put out a press release from Sandy Alderson and say, we don't believe in this, thumbs down. Ever since, the Mets have been playing really good, brother.
They don't believe in thumbs down because it was an insult to the fans, brother. You don't insult your fan base.
I agree. I agree with that. You don't insult your fans. So, I mean, but
that's pretty much a standard baseball, or actually all sports stance that a smart team would take and the smart players would take. You don't insult your fan base. You know why, brother? Because you're never going to win.
Nope.
That battle.
Not with two sports stations and our show and other shows here. I mean,
exactly.
There's too much. I don't want to say too much sports. There's never enough sports in New York. That's the thing. But anyway,
the fan base will always have the last word, brother.
That's true. Uncle Stevie's loving it. He's tweeted about him again. I wish he wouldn't tweet. I don't like the tweeting part. I don't know why.
He tweeted last night, brother. Your boy Steve Cohen.
Yes.
That he tweeted about Javi Baez.
Yep.
Because obviously Javi Baez was embroiled in that controversy last week. But Steve Cohen last night said, "Where are the Twitter experts complaining about Baez now? They must be away for the weekend." And that's a Steve Cohen specialty, that tweet, because he does like to tweak people when he tweets. He's a tweaker on Twitter.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that he likes to do is kind of poke fun, because obviously on Twitter there's hundreds of thousands of GM wannabes and owner wannabes.
Really, I'm surprised. You'd say that. Shocking on Twitter. Facebook also has some experts wannabes.
Yes, but that's kind of the minor leagues of experts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Twitter is where where the real wannabe experts hang out. So just so you know, but I know social media isn't 100% your thing. You're not a big fan of the Twitter.
I'm not a big, but me and social media. Once you fall in the rabbit hole, it's really tough getting out.
Not really.
Yes,
you learn how to do that, brother.
Yeah. Anyway, the Mets. Let's put it this way, brother. They've had a good run. They are much better this week than last week. They're 3.5 games behind the Braves. They're 4 games behind the Padres for the second wild card. They are only 1 game over 500. But they beat the Nationals yesterday 13-6. So
yes, they did.
That's not bad. You got to beat the teams in your crappy division, and the Nationals, of course, are in that division. So
that is true, brother, and that was proven over the weekend by the Yankees, who actually lost 2 out of 3 to the Orioles, which was just
how do you lose to the Orioles?
I don't know. I really you allow Andrew Heaney to pitch. That's how you do that, brother.
Really?
But here's what's going on with the Mets. All right, because ever since a week or so ago, was it a week ago or was it 2 weeks ago? I don't even remember. It seems so long ago.
It does.
That Thumbgate was a thing in Mets world. Because Steve Cohen was upset about it. Javi Baez, Francisco Lindor, and Kevin Pillar had decided to give the thumbs down to the fans anytime they did something good. And a couple of weeks ago, that was a rare thing for pretty much all of them but Pillar, because Pillar was doing fairly well, and there aren't expectations on Pillar as there are on Javier Baez and Francisco Lindor, especially Francisco Lindor. But right now, both Baez and Lindor have turned around, are hot, are producing, are getting hits, are getting big hits, are hitting home runs, and the Mets offense suddenly is becoming something to be feared, which for much of the season has not been the case. So if you want to pick a good time to get hot, the first week of September is a good time to do that.
Yes, it is.
And right now, it's a good thing for the Mets, who are 7-3 in their last 10, who had won 7 in a row at one point before a loss on Saturday to the Nationals. But as you said, brother, yesterday came back, rallied, and actually scored 6 runs in the 9th inning to break open a 13-6 win over those same Nationals, who these days, brother, do not have the attitude that they profess to have.
The attitude? The
attitude, brother. That's the Washington Nationals slogan.
Is that like Teddy Roosevelt running in the in that race around the warning track?
Well, Teddy has lost all but one of those races, but
right.
That's kind of where the Nationals are right now, because they traded Max Scherzer, they traded Trey Turner to the Dodgers and got a couple of big time prospects for them. I still don't understand why they traded Trey Turner, because he really is a superior ball player. But yes, they did get a couple of very good prospects in return for those 2 players. So I get why they made the trade, but with Trey Turner has a year left on his deal. He is one of the probably 20 best players in Major League Baseball, and you give up Max Scherzer as well, who was still, despite the fact that he's 37 or 38, still one of the best starters in baseball. But he was in the last year of his contract. So yes, the Nationals did trade a significant portion of their attitude, and will be finishing the division as finishing the season as an also-ran, I should say. But as for the Mets, this time a week or so ago, or 2 weeks ago, they were being pronounced for dead by pretty much every expert or observer or pundit or anybody who even follows baseball, because they were awful. They weren't scoring, they weren't winning, they weren't doing anything that a team needs to do. Now, this is what I want to say, brother, because as far as I'm concerned, this is, and anybody who listens to this show knows that I don't hate the Mets. Yes, I am a Yankee fan. No, when have I ever said I hate the Mets?
I don't know. I thought you
never. But I don't hate the Mets. Yes, I am a Yankees fan. I just, as Uncle Floyd once famously said, brother, I just don't really care about the Mets. Now, that being said,
they used to chant, "We don't care about the Mets. We don't care about the Mets."
That's what I just said. I don't care about the Mets.
No, we don't care about the Mets. Then they'd say.
All right, so fine. If there was another person here with me, I would say we. All right, I'm speaking for myself today. But this week, I hate the Mets, and the reason is this. This winning streak and this surge, it's a tease. It's the Mets saying we're not as bad as we were, or we're not as bad as we showed we were against the Dodgers and the Giants a week or so ago. Now the problem is, they are that bad.
Not really. No,
they're not a real playoff team.
They could be if they make the wild card.
But yeah, that could be, brother. What's our famous axiom regarding contending baseball teams on this show?
You said the rule is they have to be over 10 games.
Exactly.
Over 500.
What's the Mets record right now?
69 and 68.
Exactly. How many games over 500 is that?
Uno.
1. Exactly, brother. So, yes, the Mets this week were an exciting baseball team that was doing the job that they're supposed to do. Have created a little bit of buzz by beating some bad teams and winning 7 in a row. But even I'll even settle for the fact that the National League East, that probably nobody is going to finish 10 games over 500. But 2 things the Mets fans need to remember at this point. Number 1 is you're not getting a wild card. That's just not happening. Because
I disagree, Tim. I think the wild card is definitely within reach.
No.
Or they win first place. The Braves slip
That's where I'm going, bro. I mean, it's a massive or. Because the wild card, there's no chance. Because there's only one wild card spot the Mets are available. You will have available. There's not another National League team that will catch the Dodgers or the Giants. And I say or the Giants because those two teams are battling for first place in the NL West. The Giants beat the Dodgers last night, so they are now a game in front of the Dodgers for first place. So whoever finishes second in that battle, that's the first wild card. Now, right now, the San Diego Padres are only 8 games over 500, and they should be a much better team than they've been. But the Dodgers and the Giants are battling it out for first place. The Padres will be a wild card. So that leaves one spot. And there are 3 other teams ahead of the Mets for that spot. So realistically, there are 4 teams battling for that one spot. The Mets are not going to be that team.
Well,
they're just not.
I think like first place is much closer than anything else, brother.
First place is possible. The wild card is not. And first place is possible only because the Braves aren't very good, and we all know the Phillies are. I don't even want to use the word good in a sentence with the Phillies because they're mediocre, and they certainly don't have enough. They basically have 2 pitchers, that those being Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. Their bullpen is garbage, and they don't have enough. So that's where we are with the Mets, and that's there are circumstances for the Mets. Maybe they do get the second wild card, and then they'll have to play the Padres. And if by some miracle they win that game against the Padres, which seems to me to be very unlikely, then they would wind up facing either the San Francisco Giants or Dodgers, whoever wins first place in National League West, because that team will be the team with the best record. So, and then their season's over because they won't win. In fact, they might not even win a game in that series because they showed last week what they are against those teams, and they look like crap against those teams.
Okay, bro. So I'm looking at the schedule for the Mets right now.
Yes, bro. What do you see?
Marlins.
Right, yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, Yankees, weekend. Cardinals, 3 games. Phillies, 3 games. Your favorite, the Red Sox, 2 games. The Brewers, more Marlins.
Would be nice, bro. Would be nice if the Mets against the Sox could help out the Yankees the way the Yankees have helped out the Mets so many times this year.
I agree.
Mets beat the Braves 2 in a row. The Yankees beat the Braves 2 in a row, I should say. The Yankees beat the Phillies a couple in a row before that. All to help out the Mets.
But look at it. I mean, brother, they have 7 games against the Marlins. That could mean something.
But what have the Mets done against the Marlins this year?
Not as good as they should be.
That has not been an automatic victory for the Mets.
No.
Donnie Baseball's guys have done well against the Mets. And you can't assume victories as the Yankees found out this weekend, over the weekend, just because you're playing a bad team. You still have to get the job done and score the runs and prevent the runs, and do what you have to do to win games. And it's certainly no luck. And again, with Don Mattingly as the manager, that the Miami Marlins are certainly not going to just roll over and give the Mets 3 wins.
By the way, brother, against the Phillies on the 19th, get this, it's tote bag night plus 2022 magnetic schedule. I'm really, I got to just say something. I really don't like the fact that they already have next year's schedule released before the season has ended. I don't think that
it's another thing for them to hype.
No, but I think you should wait until after the season. I mean, it just looks like it doesn't matter what's going to happen, and whether it's good or bad for your team, because we already have next year's schedule. You shouldn't be looking at next year's schedule while you might have a chance for this season.
Because they want to be able to hype season tickets for next season.
Right, I know
the season's still going on. That's why.
But holding off for a month wouldn't hurt. They're going to get the season tickets anyway. Anyway, brother.
I don't disagree.
The Yankees last week, brother, in a switch, were the hottest team, but this week are not as hot.
Not even close to hot.
It seems like the Mets' coldness jumped onto the Yankees, and the Yankees' hotness jumped onto the Mets.
I don't know if that's possible, but there has been a certain
not physically.
exchange.
If this was a movie, Tim. Yeah, I'm not talking about literally. I'm talking about if this was a movie, it would there'd be a jump over. Yankees get cold, Mets get hot.
Yes,
you would see like a shadow thing jumping from one person to the other. Or one team to the other. Come on.
Okay.
You're a writer. Come on. You've written.
Anyway, brother. Anyway, certainly there has been a certain switching of roles. The Yankees, a week or so ago, were just finishing up a 13-game winning streak. We're among the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in baseball. And now they're losing 2 out of 3 to the Orioles over a weekend. And
how does that happen?
You allow Andrew Heaney to pitch. That's been a big issue. I don't understand. I mean, I get, you acquired this guy at the deadline. You feel a need or a reason to keep putting him out there, but you can't. I mean, I don't care what you gave up for the guy. He should not be on a major league mound at this point. And he wasn't very good, and we said this when the deal happened.
Right.
I said he's not a very good pitcher. Anybody you don't go to the Angels to acquire pitchers. All right, they've been a terrible pitching team for a good decade. If you can't win with Mike Trout, and the reason is because you have bad pitching. Mike Trout has never been in the playoffs, or has never had any kind of a significant run with the Angels.
Hasn't earned his pay yet.
Well, no, it's not. It has nothing to do with Mike Trout. Mike Trout earns his pay every day. Mike Trout's got a $400 million contract, and he has earned every penny that he's made so far. The problem is the Angels' pitching is awful, and it has been for many years. If you have Mike Trout and Albert Pujols in the same lineup, you're not winning.
Right.
It's the pitching. It has nothing to do with Mike Trout, even though he's been hurt most of the season. But you have Shohei Ohtani hitting 40-something home runs already. The reason the Angels don't win is because they can't pitch. So when the Yankees acquired Andrew Heaney, I was kind of like, all right, well, maybe this guy. Maybe they get lightning in a bottle. Maybe he goes on a 2-month run, and all of a sudden wins a handful of games, and maybe he turns into Andy Pettitte for a month or so. Well, he's not. He's turned into Kei Agawa. So that is the problem. And when the Yankees have a kid like Luis Gil, who in 3 major league starts did not allow a run, not even an unearned run, a run. You don't keep running Andrew Heaney out to the mound when you have a kid who actually produced and is now pitching in AAA. You bring the kid up and you say, "Hey, we need innings. We need scoreless innings. See what you can do. See how many more you can give us." But you don't run Andrew Heaney out and have him give up 4 runs in an inning against the Orioles, less than an inning, because I think he got 1. I think it was 4 runs in a third of an inning against the Orioles, and that turned into an 8-7 loss. You can't let that happen. You can't allow the Orioles of all teams, the Orioles who the Tampa Bay Rays have gone 18-1 against this season.
Wow.
You can't allow the Orioles to beat you twice in a weekend. I can accept winning 2 out of 3. I can accept winning the series and maybe losing a game, and it's bad to lose a game against the Orioles, but fine. That's baseball. It happens sometimes. You can't lose 2 out of 3 to the Orioles. You just can't. I mean, especially now as important as these games are, the Yankees right now they're 7.5 games behind Tampa Bay, and we got not even a month left in the season. So Tampa Bay is winning the division. It's pretty much guaranteed at this point, unless they have a drop off of 1978 Red Sox proportions. But that's not going to happen with Tampa Bay. They're too fundamentally good for something like that to happen. But you can't follow a 13-game winning streak with a 2-6 stretch.
No.
Because it doesn't. I'm not going to say it completely negates the winning streak, because it doesn't. And the Yankees still are 20 games over 500. But it tightens up the race now with the wild card. The Yankees are still the number one wild card in the American League, but the Red Sox are closing in a little bit, and Seattle is now the new team closing in on the wild card picture. The Mariners are 3 games behind the Red Sox for the second wild card. Now, technically, the Yankees are a half game ahead of Boston for the first wild card, but smart baseball fans and baseball fans who listen to From the Press Box know that because the Yankees are 2 games ahead of the Red Sox in the loss column, that they're really 2 games ahead in the wild card race. But again, you go 2-6, and that tightens up that race, and you don't want that race getting tight, because there are still pitching issues for the Yankees. And Corey Kluber has come back and given them 2 starts, and neither start has been particularly good. And both of the starts have been especially short. So you need guys pitching innings. I would have thought that Luis Severino would have come back before Corey Kluber did, and they're still talking about Severino being a maybe for the rest of the season, and that Severino has said that he'd be fine pitching out of the bullpen, which he should be. I mean, there's a month left in the season, not even a month. So if he can pitch at all, if the Yankees want to start him just for his for his mental state and let him go 3 innings or 4 innings or something like that, if he can do that, then fine, do it that way. But otherwise, bring him in after somebody else goes 4 or 5 innings and let him go 3 innings. And however it works, however he can get the job done, that's what you have to do. But Yankee fans who expect Luis Severino to come back and throw 7 innings, that's absolutely delusional. It's not going to happen, and especially at this point in the season.
Yeah, well.
So it's just a matter of getting Severino back on the mound and hoping that he's effective. That, and for any amount of innings, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not even going to say anything more than that, because I don't think the Yankees would allow him to pitch more than that. I don't think they'll let him go more than 60 or so pitches.
Okay, well,
so that's where we are right now, and that's it's for both New York teams. It's going to be something of a struggle down the stretch, and the Yankees, when the Yankees were winning 13 games in a row, a lot of bats were hot at the same time, and now a lot those bats have cooled off at the same time. Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton and Luke Voit. When the Yankees were winning 13 in a row, the offense was explosive because all of those guys were hitting. And right now, they've kind of come back to earth. So that's why you're winding up with some losses. And again, I mean, the pitching hasn't been stellar like it was during the winning streak.
Right.
And some decisions that have been made. I thought Jack Curry made a great point the other day or yesterday when he talked about having Heaney come in for the 7th inning instead of Chad Green. I mean, that's Chad Green's time to pitch. You put him in. You don't put Andrew Heaney in when a bunch of the I think it was the next 6 batters that were coming up for the Orioles were right-handed. You don't put a left-handed pitcher in. You put Chad Green in and you let him blow guys away.
No, that'd be a good idea, brother.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break right now. And we're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. If you'd like to call in and give us a comment or a question, The phone lines are open, 516-572-7440.
All hit music.
For all those songs radio has forgotten about, join me, Big Ed, Mondays from 10 a.m. till noon for The Good Gold Show. We'll bring back all the great hits of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and more. The sounds of doo-wop to disco, all the Motown, soul, and great rock and roll. We'll even take your requests and dedications to The Good Gold Show.
Music.
On the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
Want more sports? We have more sports.
Let's shoot it.
Catch WHPC Sports Talk all week to get your sports fix.
Break it down.
Every weekday afternoon at 4. Plus, Monday mornings at 9 and Tuesday nights at 10.
Come and get some of this.
WHPC Sports Talk. Exclusively on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Okay. Go.
Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out.
Check it out.
This is my favorite pickup line.
Oh, no.
I lost my number. Can I have yours? That's a good one.
That's
Come on.
cute.
What's your shirt made out of? Is it made out of boyfriend material?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Zach, what's your favorite pickup line?
Hey, you like the Beatles?
Already don't like it. You're trying too hard.
What else did you want to do today? And I just be like,
That's not a pickup line.
Finding the antidote would be pretty nice.
Hey, Amanda, are you Microsoft Windows? Because I want to crash at your place.
Oh, I think I got one.
Oh, God, Zach.
Are you a maraca? Because I want to shake you all night long.
No, Zach, you're not trying to kill somebody. What is the matter with you? What is the matter with you? You are so not good at this.
Cause an aneurysm or something?
You are so not good at this.
Nassau Morning Madhouse. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9.
Yeah.
On the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
We're back here on From the Press Box on 90.3 WHPC. I'm Rob Leonard. He's Tim Leonard. 516-572-7440. What's up, brother, for part 2 of our show?
Part 2, brother. That's what's up. Part 2 of the show.
This will become a podcast later on.
I was just about to mention that.
Yes. And we should say, now, brother, why is the Hall of Fame on a Wednesday this year?
I don't know, brother. All I can do is blame it on COVID.
Are they trying to prevent people from showing up?
Well, it's not the worst idea. We still are in a pandemic, brother. So I'm not going to.
New York State is very good. So,
I'm not going to sit here and criticize the Hall of Fame for doing something that will, should help prevent spreading a pandemic. So,
but look at the two people who are going in. You have Larry Walker, and
he's good.
Mr. Yankee.
He's very good.
Mr.
We love
Yankee,
him.
Derek Jeter.
The captain.
He got the highest elected votes ever, or highest percentage of votes, I should say, in baseball history.
Yes, he did.
For the Hall of Fame. I mean, come on. This is a Sunday afternoon situation. Well, actually, they can't have it Sunday because it's the first week of football.
Right.
So you have it on, Saturday would be, I guess, I don't know, maybe college football they're afraid of. I don't know.
I am not going to pretend that I've done a whole lot of research on this, brother, because I have not.
Well,
but I don't really know why. By the way, let's also mention that Ted Simmons also is being inducted as Veterans Committee choice, the former Cardinals and Brewers catcher, who I'm still not 100% sold as a Hall of Famer. But
I think he is for a catcher, definitely. Definitely.
Again, brother, Hall of Fame is for legends. They're not. When you're a Hall of Fame, you're a great player. You're not a pretty good player. I
think in the next 20 years you're going to have problems with the pitchers not hitting 300 wins because of the way the
no pitcher is going to hit 300 wins anymore, brother. It's not. The game has gone the other way in terms of wins. 250 will be the new standard as we go on in the future. That's too bad. And who knows? It might even go lower than that, depending on openers and what happens with that measure, and then if teams just change the way they use their pitching staff, which has been happening in recent years. Although we are kind of getting away from the opener. I think that was kind of a fad that was the Tampa Bay set, and a lot of teams have used. But I think we're getting away from that.
I hope so.
Which, as far as I'm concerned, isn't a bad thing. But yeah, they're I really haven't seen a reason that why this is on a Wednesday and what's going on with this, other than this was a time that they decided on at some point, and they said, all right, well, COVID, we're done with it, or we're not done with it, but at least it's not as bad as it was, and it's not as contagious and infectious as it was, because people have been vaccinated or people have antibodies. So, let's try to get it done during the season, and as I've said on this show many times over the years, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony day usually is the hottest day of the year. Well, obviously on September 8th, which is this Wednesday, which is when the Hall of Fame ceremony will be, it's not going to be the hottest day of the year. So
I wonder if it's going to be a packed situation like it normally is. People coming in and Cooperstown freezing. Basically, you can't drive around. You've been up there during this stuff.
You can drive around, but you're going to be driving very slow because it's one big traffic. Cooperstown really is not a big city. There's nothing big about it. It's a couple of traffic lights and a lot of baseball stores and shops and memorabilia places and the Hall of Fame. And the Hall of Fame is not a big building. It's you certainly, if you don't know what you're looking for, you could probably drive past it and not even know what it is. But I think I like Cooperstown because Cooperstown is a throwback. It looks like Middle America, and it looks like small town USA, which it is. Maybe that's why. That's what they wanted when they decided to put the Hall of Fame there. I don't know, because obviously it was. It must have been even birthplace of baseball.
It must have been even more uncrowded back in 1936.
Yeah, when before automobiles took over the country, I'm sure it was a very small town.
Yeah,
but it's you should take a trip up there, brother, sometime. First of all, it's really not that far a drive for us. I will warn people again, when you get on Route 20 going west, to please make sure that you keep an eye on the speed limit signs, because you'll be going 60 1 second and all of a sudden it'll say speed limit 30, and they're just waiting there to give you a ticket. So please be mindful of that when you get close to Cooperstown. Right. Don't say I didn't warn you many times on this show. But it really is a nice place to spend a day, or even a couple of days if you're so inclined and you want to really get into the history of baseball. But it's for how many people are going to be up there on a Wednesday, that I don't know. And again, it doesn't necessarily bother me that the crowd numbers will be down, even though Derek Jeter is going to be really the guest of honor. Because yes, Larry Walker is a free agent and was a great player. Did everything on the field, hit for average power, great defender, had a cannon for an arm. Pretty much the only thing he couldn't do was like he wasn't a speed merchant on the bases, but he also was a better than average base runner. So he was a really good, great all around player, whose reputation as a ball player kind of was diminished a certain amount because he played a lot of seasons in Colorado, and people just kind of assume that, all right, well, he's a byproduct of Colorado and the thin air, and that's why he's putting up these numbers. No, Larry Walker would have put up numbers no matter where he played, and I would have been fine with Larry Walker playing his career as a Yankee, because he was that good.
Yeah, of course, who wouldn't want him? And Derek Jeter is going to be very nice, with his, I thank Mr. Torrey and Mr. Steinbrenner, the whole.
Of course, you know, one thing that Derek Jeter will be is the speech will thank all the appropriate people. The only drawback that I've heard from Jeter over the last week or so in stories that I've read is that apparently they're limiting the time of the speeches.
See, that's not fair.
Which, it's hard to sum up a career like Derek Jeter's in 15 minutes.
No, you can't.
That's the hard. That's the tough part. Is how do you do that?
You can't. And one of the things about Jeter is he did so many things. He did them right. He was a good player. Yeah. Did he enjoy the ladies? I'm sure he did, but he did it quietly. Did he enjoy baseball? He loved baseball. He did so many great catches or clutch hits, or he always seemed to say the right thing, even if it might have been a little boring for some people. But he stayed with one team his entire career, which I think is great. And
very, very rare these days.
He's also a Mr. Yankee, even though he's part of the Marlins organization.
I'm sure the Marlins will be mentioned in his speech.
Yes, of course, they have to.
But just briefly.
Yeah.
Because he's going in as a Yankee. He's going in as a representative of the Yankees.
Of course.
And that will be the focus. He's definitely going to mention the fact, something along the lines of that, how his career with the Yankees allowed him to remain in baseball and continue his career with the Miami Marlins. It's going to be something along those lines. It will be a bit of an homage to the Marlins, but he certainly is not going to have the Marlins overshadow the Yankees, because that's not an appropriate thing. And Derek Jeter, one thing he always has been is, and I don't mean to throw this phrase in because I know it takes on a connotation, but he's always been politically correct. And by that I mean he says the right thing.
No, that's different than being politically correct.
No, not really. Not really, brother. Because like I said, it has a connotation, and you're taking the connotation, and I don't want you to do that.
Yeah.
But the point being that he says the right thing.
He says the right thing. That doesn't mean he's politically correct.
That's what it means, brother.
No, it
that's
doesn't.
What it means. That's what the phrase means.
No, it doesn't.
It does. You're
politically correct is not telling the truth when the truth is there.
Stop doing that.
No.
So anyway. I'll
do what I want.
He will say he will pay tribute to the Yankees. He will honor Mr. George Steinbrenner. He will honor Mr. Torrey, as he still calls him that. I'm sure that there will be several representatives there from the Yankees. I'm sure Torrey will be there. And Jeter has talked about getting to know some of the Hall of Famers and being in that crowd, and I definitely can see him as the years go on. And let's remember, Jeter he's like in his mid-40s at this point. He is a young Hall of Famer. I certainly do see him becoming a focal point of that group as the years go on. 60-year-old Derek Jeter will be one of the as you said before the show, brother, one of the cool kids in the Hall of Fame group. He's always been that guy in the Yankee clubhouse who he was in the middle of the pranking and the busting chops, and he was always the guy with the needle, and he will become that guy among Hall of Famers as he starts to age into grandfather status and become one of those guys. I don't have any doubt about that.
I don't
because for two reasons. Number one, that's his personality, and it's always done quietly, and it's always he'll have a little tweak here or there, and being the legend among legends will allow him to keep the needle sharp, but also it's because there are so many, especially of the younger generation, who grew up respecting him in the game and grew up with him as their idol, that he will be able to kind of use that and establish himself in that position.
Brother, it's interesting that the Marlins have two star players of their generation from the Yankees working on that team. You have Mattingly and you have and you have Derek Jeter. So
you also have Jorge Posada, and you got Tino, and
but that's
there's
not
a lot of.
I'm not. What I'm talking about, from whenever Mattingly came up, 83 to 95, he was the guy on the Yankees. He retires. Jeter takes over in 96, whether was anointed or not. He became the guy. Just the way for the next generation of Yankee fans, Jeter was their guy.
Right.
The way Mattingly
and I mean,
was
in 96, in 96, nobody really knew that.
No,
you could see it coming.
In a way,
you could see, you could see that he was going to be that next guy. Just like for the last few years, you could see that Aaron Judge is going to become that guy.
You hope so for the Yankee fans. Okay, bro, the NFL starts on Sunday. It's always the first Sunday after Labor Day, so this Labor Day started late this year. So you have the Giants and the Broncos at MetLife Stadium on Sunday, and the Jets will play at Carolina for them playing the Panthers and against their old quarterback Sam Darnold. So this is
Sammy D.
It's you got a new quarterback for the Jets, and if Daniel Jones doesn't do something this season, then guess what? He'll be hanging out somewhere like Sam Darnold at another team.
Call him out, brother. Do that. Call him out.
I don't know, man. I thought he wasn't bad last year, but I didn't think there was enough around him to judge him really.
He's got plenty around him now.
This is the season he has to say, I have to step up.
I'll tell you what. Here's the only
and claim
thing.
What he has to claim.
Here is the only thing. The only reason that I will not blame Daniel Jones for what happens with the Giants this season will be entirely based on what happens with the offensive line. Because it really is the one area the Giants didn't really address in the way that they should have in the offseason. And if Daniel Jones is pressured all season, and if he doesn't have time to throw the ball, then I'm not going to hit him as hard as I might have, depending on how the season goes.
Right.
Now, the reason for that, I mean, look, Daniel Jones has weapons. He's got weapons everywhere. So if he can't get it done this season, then the Giants, yes, absolutely need to start, need to look for their next guy, because there's no point in giving him the money that you would give to a franchise quarterback that you expect to lead you to a Super Bowl. And I don't. I said from the day he was drafted, I don't think Daniel Jones is that guy, but I also don't think you desperately need that guy to win a Super Bowl. It's been shown that you don't have to have that guy. But that being said, if you're going to commit the kind of money that you need to commit to a franchise quarterback in this day and age of the NFL, then you better make sure that quarterback is capable of earning the money you're giving to him. And I don't think that Daniel Jones is that guy. Now, that being said, again, I think the Giants have all the weapons that a young quarterback would need to make that step and to become that guy. So that, to me, is the intriguing part of this Giants season is, can Daniel Jones stop fumbling, first of all? Can he be the guy to lead the offense and to make the Giants offense a consistent and fearsome unit, which they really haven't been in any of the time that he's been the quarterback. But when you're getting Saquon Barkley back from the knee injury, and assuming he's going to be the Saquon Barkley that he was, that's obviously a huge addition. And it's, I say addition, even though Saquon Barkley has always been a Giant. But now you have a rushing game. When you add a big-time free agent like Kenny Golladay at wide receiver, when you add Kadarius Toney in the draft, those are two big weapons at receiver. So Daniel Jones is going to have plenty of options and plenty of places to throw the ball. He should be able to. I mean, I don't. Let's put it this way: 300 yards passing a game shouldn't be a number that's foreign to Giants fans. It should be a number that is reachable in almost every game. I can't imagine that they're not going to throw the ball with the cast of characters that they put together, because this team is built to score points. And they might have to. I don't know. I don't know what kind of condition the defense is going to be in, but this is a team that is built to win because of its offense. And Giants fans certainly aren't used to that, because they're used to a team that rushes the ball.
Last few years.
Yeah, I mean, they're used to a team that rushes the ball, and they're used to a team that will win games, 20 to 14 or 20 to 17. This is a team that, by all measures, shouldn't have trouble scoring 30 points a game. That's how good this offense should be.
Right.
But again, it's all predicated on, can the offensive line get the job done? Because if you don't have the blocking, then the offense won't be able to have the time to get the job done.
Right.
So that's where we're at with the Giants.
Yeah,
and
we should say we're starting to run out of time, brother. Sorry to cut you off. We should say the Giants are retiring Michael Strahan's number 92, on November 28th, when the Giants face the Eagles.
There's two numbers being retired this year, brother, because they're also retiring Eli's number also.
No Tiki?
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. But
That's every time I see Michael Strahan, I look at him and say, Tiki Barber must be saying he has my job.
Yeah, pretty much.
He shouldn't have quit. If he'd waited around,
you don't like a quitter, brother.
One more season, he would have a Super Bowl ring, and he would have been just as loved as maybe not Strahan, because Strahan's a little goofy sometimes, but he would have at least not been persona non grata around.
Got to give Strahan credit. He took an opportunity, seized it, and made it happen.
Hey,
nobody expected him.
If you remember Strahan, he wasn't always the nicest guy with the media.
No, he wasn't. He was a bit of a jerk a lot of times.
And now he's like George Foreman. Let me embrace you.
Sort of.
Let me do $100,000 pyramid.
With the big gap tooth smile and the crooked fingers.
Yeah. So anyway, the Jets are taking on the Panthers. And is Sam Darnold starting for the Panthers?
He better be. He's making $19 million this year.
Oh, okay. And of course, the Jets have a new quarterback. He has something to prove this year.
I'm excited for Zach
Wilson. Yeah,
I am excited. I would like to see. I would like to see. Well, first of all, we have to point out, apparently, wide receiver Jamison Crowder, one of Zach Wilson's few weapons, will apparently miss the game because he has tested positive for COVID.
Right.
Why? I don't know why there are so many stupid NFL players who have not been vaccinated yet. We say it every week, brother. Go out, people, get your shots, get your vaccinations, get your jab.
Some people are indicating that maybe Cam Newton was dropped because of that exact reason.
Well, I saw something that told me why Cam Newton got dropped, and that was because Mac Jones apparently knew the playbook better than Cam Newton did, and was trying to help Cam Newton learn the playbook. And with Bill Belichick, if you know your playbook, that's 3/4 of the job right there. And if Cam Newton doesn't want to study or can't figure out the playbook, and Mac Jones can, then Mac Jones is going to be your quarterback. So that move didn't necessarily surprise me so much.
Well, that's a good point. Someone's going to pick up Cam Newton eventually.
Probably. I don't know who. The Broncos might. I mean, the Broncos have a pretty good team, and we're going to see them on Sunday against the Giants. But at quarterback, it was a battle between Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock.
Teddy Bridgewater?
Teddy Bridgewater, your old boy, brother.
I remember him.
But I think the Broncos were hoping that Drew Lock was going to win the job and become something of a number one quarterback, and he worked with Peyton Manning in the off season and did a lot of study and did a lot of working out, and there was a whole lot of big deal comments about Drew Lock's going to be the man, and Bridgewater beat him out.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't think the Broncos are too solid in their quarterback play.
Okay, let's get to the U.S. Open tennis over in Flushing Meadows, right in our backyard, basically. The match I saw last night was unseeded 19-year-old Leylah Fernandez from Canada She knocked off. No. I'm sorry. This is the one. I take it back. I did not see the Naomi Osaka reigning champion knockoff thing, but I saw her beat Angelique Kerber from Germany.
Yes.
To move into the quarterfinals. One thing I have to say about this, bro, I'm watching it. This is something that should not happen. Literally, she wins the match. She's running around. She's all excited, and then she's interviewed. I guess it's for the TV, but it's in the stadium, so they hear it also. And I'm saying to myself, you know what? Let the person enjoy a couple of minutes. Why the hell do we have to get an interview? What are they going to say? Oh, I'm so happy I won. Oh yeah, the person I played was a good player. Come on.
They want that initial reaction, but that happens after every match, brother.
I know,
every
it's
match
horrible.
They play, every match, the winner takes a couple of questions on the court. It's not an interview. I mean, you call it an interview.
I call it
an two or three questions.
It's an interview, brother.
That's all it is.
It's an interview. Let them enjoy. Let them have 5 minutes.
That's part of the enjoyment. They're getting to do an interview in front of a crowd of how many thousands of people who are cheering for them and are excited. I'll tell you what, the one, Osaka, as shocking as Osaka losing to Leylah Fernandez was, and credit to Leylah Fernandez for beating Osaka and Angelique Kerber in back-to-back matches to get into the quarterfinals at 19 years old.
Right.
But to me, the biggest story of the tournament so far is Shelby Rogers beating number 1 seed Ashleigh Barty and rallying from 5-2 in the third set, 5-2 down.
Right.
To pull off a 7-6 tiebreaker.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
No, I agree. I agree.
So, that and the real story, and again, Leylah Fernandez, teenagers in this U.S. Open, brother. Teenagers are doing it. They're getting it done. They're unseeded. Some qualifiers are coming in and made the round of 16. And we talk about the one thing that on the men's side, one of the players, Francis Tiafoe, an American guy, believe it or not, he admitted in a press conference last night that the men's draw is guys are going crazy because you don't have Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, who usually take up 2 of the 4 spots in the semifinals. You got guys who are as he said, foaming at the mouth.
Yep.
Foaming at the mouth to get there.
And next week we should say, and that's going to be a point, our returning independent tennis expert.
Tennis expert. He's a tennis expert. That's all he is.
Dan DeRosalia will be talking to us about the entire U.S. Open, as he has for the last 4 years. I think this is his
I look
5th
forward
year.
to Dan's appearance next week.
So that's something he told me off mic, so that's good to know. Anyway, you've been listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. I am Rob Leonard. He is... That's
Why do you
right.
do
There
that,
you
bro?
go.
Don't do that.
Why
Don't
not?
do that. Be the guy. Be the guy with the voice. Go ahead. Use your indoor voice.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, this show becomes a podcast later on. Coming up next, you know him, you love him. He's too damn good of a disc jockey that I know of. He's one of the best I know. He's Big Ed Newlands with Good Gold, so keep it tuned. Take care, and bye.